welcome to all our viewers. I'm Anjali from Simplilearn, and today I'll be showing you how you can install Python on your Windows system. It's a pretty straightforward method. So let's begin. The first thing you do is open your browser and search Python. Go to the very first link. And this is the official Python page. So if you scroll down here, you can see the most latest version of Python, which as of today is 3.7.1, and we will be installing the most latest version. So go to Downloads right at the top, and since we are installing on Windows, click on Windows. So here you have the various Python releases for Windows. As you can see here, 3.7.1 has a web-based installer, there's an executable installer, embedded, so on. Now we want the executable installer, and since my machine is a 64-bit one, I'll go for this. So of course you need to select the file that is suited for your system. So click here, and the setup file is getting downloaded. So once that's done, we'll open it. And this is your setup page. So now we need to install it, but before that, click Add Python 3.7 to path. So what this does is it ensures that you can access Python from the command line by just entering its name rather than the entire path where it's stored. So this really does make things simpler. And once you have ticked that, click on Install Now. Go for Yes. And the installation process has begun. And with that, our installation process is complete. So before we wind up, let's just test if everything's working fine. So go to your search and type in Python. So as you can see here, Python 3.7, which is the latest version, is installed. And then we also have the IDLE for Python, which is the integrated development environment. So let's test this out first. Now, this is not the typical place where you program, but you can have one-line commands here. So to test this out, I'll just have a print command. And enter. So hello world is printed. This is working fine. Now there's also a command line interpreter for Python, which is Python 3.7 64-bit that opens your command line. This works the same as our IDLE. Of course, it's simpler to write there. It's more convenient and aesthetic. Let's test the command line out too. And that's working perfectly fine. Now the command line and the IDLE for Python are great places to start with Python coding. But when you move on to actual program, you'd want to offer, say, Jupyter Notebook or PyCharm, which we will cover later in our videos. For now, that is all. So I hope everything was clear and you were successfully able to install Python.